Hi, this is Tracy from Arizona Reef Guys and Gals, and today we are at Studio Blue with Dave Marriott, and he's going to go over some water testing. Feel free to go ahead and message us on Facebook with any questions, and at this point I'm going to pass it on over to Dave. Here he is.
Hey fish fans, today I just want to talk with Tracy a little bit and everybody out there that's watching about the basics of water testing and why you should test your own water and understand what you're reading and why it's important to know to benefit your reef tank. Most stores will be glad to test your water for you, as we do, no charge. Come on in anytime, bring water. We'll be happy to test it for you. But for everything from algae issues to growth on your corals to color on your corals, your water parameters are super important. So we're going to go through the basics. We're not going to get real technical today, but I just want to talk to you a little bit about why it's important for you to understand your reef and what the parameters mean to you and what your goals are. So first thing I want to kind of go over is nitrates. Nitrates is a huge issue with everybody out there, including us. So we're going to test it on our reef and see where we're at and explain why it's important for you to understand where your nitrate levels are at all times. As I get set up here, nitrates can cause a lot of issues. It's causes issues with health of your fish over time. It can cause algae problems in your tank, and it's one of those things that creeps up over time, and we all deal with it in one way or another. There's a lot of ways to prevent it, a lot of ways to get rid of it. But it's important, first off, to know if you have it, why you have it, where it's coming from, and what you do about it. So one of the issues we have when people come into our store is they buy some fish. They take them home, put them in their tanks. Fish look healthy, but they die immediately. And they don't know why. Everything else in their tank's doing great, so it must not be their tank problem. It must be the fish problem or the store's problem. And it could be, but we always want to check your water. We always ask you to bring a water sample in so that we can check it and see what's going on. And the first things we do is we check for nitrates and salinity and just look at the very basics of your water to make sure and rule out that those aren't issues. Nitrate in the tank can start creeping up over the first 3 to 6 months, 8 months, and you don't even know. If you're not checking for it, you may not even see it. Your fish are in the tank, they're all doing great, but it's happened slowly, so they tend to build up a resistance, towards the nitrate. But when you add new fish in there, then they get shocked, and that's sometimes when you lose fish right away. Nitrates, crazy easy to test for, but you want to make sure you use a good kit. There are some kits on the market, won't name names, but API is not a great one. So we want to make sure you use a good quality kit to make sure you're getting the results that you need.
So the kit you're using today is Salford, correct?
Salford has been around a long time. It's tried and true, in my opinion. It's what I'm comfortable with. There's a lot of great kits on the market. Red Sea has great kits. The Hanna checkers are phenomenal. The main difference between, let's say, a Salford and a Hanna checker is Hanna's going to give you a digital readout of number rather than a color to look at. So if you're colorblind or have color issues, then the Hanna checkers may be the way to go. So but we're going to do it old school, go to Salford, and see what results we get here. And this kit takes about 5 minutes to get a correct reading. So we're going to get this one started first. And guys, I tell people this all the time, that if I can test these and understand them, then I promise anybody can understand them. So this is coming straight out of our big reef. So we're going to see right
this
here, this reef here. We feed this reef a lot, so nitrates do tend to creep up on us. We've installed a biopellet reactor on the tank to help maintain that, to help lower our nitrates. We also dose No-Pox in our store, which is a Red Sea product. I don't have it sitting here, but No-Pox is an alcohol-based product that I say basically supercharges your bacteria to help break down nitrate problems. So there's a lot of ways and methods to get rid of nitrates, but very important that you do. So we're going to give that a couple minutes. I'm going to check the salinity today.
What should the salinity be?
Natural seawater is usually around 1.026 salinity. So in a reef tank, we aim for 1.024 to 1.026. If it's a fish-only tank, you can get by running it down to 1.020 or lower or a little bit higher. The important thing is consistency. Wherever you choose, keep it that way. Just keep it consistent. So our tank is running right at 1.026, so we like to balance that. A refractometer is an important piece of equipment. It's a little more money than the floating needle hydrometers that a lot of people use. Those things can be so inaccurate, guys. It can cause a lot of problems. I get it a lot. People bring it in and they don't even know that their water is 6-7 points off and wondering why they're having some issues. So if you can invest in a refractometer, it would be a great tool to have in the repertoire for reefing. So yeah, I know it's more fun to buy corals,
right?
Than test kits.
Well,
but
the
trust
thing
me,
with the refractometer or the hydrometer is like when you put the water in it, it can tend to have buildup in it if you're not rinsing it out really good. So that's
Correct.
the reason that you would probably want to do the refractometer like what he has, and I use one myself, so I love it.
Yeah, and and these can even go out of whack. So it's they're very easy to calibrate. There's calibration solutions that you put on the screen, and it's got a little screw adjustment in here that you can dial it in and tune it in to check it every week and make sure that that's accurate for you. And be careful, again, there's copycats of these out there on the market. So if you see these priced out there, $20 on Amazon, just be cautious. So as you can see here, I don't know if you can see the coloring of this in our tank on the color chart. It's starting to turn pink already, which makes me a little nervous. Our nitrates are probably a little high in our tank right now. And like I said, we feed a lot. We feed a lot of frozen foods. And we do rinse our frozen foods, but nitrate builds up in frozen food. It's in your flake food. It's in your pellet foods. So every time we feed, we're adding a little bit of nitrate to our system. Fish waste buildup causes it. Clogged pads cause it. It's everywhere in your system. It's in your sand bed. We're lucky we don't have any algae issues in this tank. We, for the most part, you can see most everybody looks really good in here. Fish-wise, they're just squeaking up right now, but so it's not having a big effect. But I would not consider putting any new fish in this tank right now with the nitrate levels where they're at. They're starting to show up at about, I'm guessing 30 parts per million, where 50 to 100 start getting in the deadly zone. Some nitrates are good. The corals need to feed, so never really try to aim for 0. But if you can keep your nitrates at 5 to 10, same thing on phosphates, 5 to 10. These are my two negatives, phosphates and nitrates that we watch for. If you keep those in check, you're going to have a lot less problems in your reef and a lot less algae issues. The next 3 things, what I call the 3 positives that we check for in reefing, is carbon hardness, alkalinity, calcium, magnesium. There's a lot more elements you can check for if you understand them, but for the most part, most reefers that are keeping softy tanks or mixed reefs, these are the main components for the elements that you want to check for. Tracy, what do you keep your alkalinity at in your reef tank? What do you aim for?
Mine is like at 7.
Okay.
So I've been keeping, 7 is where I'm seeing that.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the best place it needs to be, because I'm actually kind of new into the testing part of it, to be very honest, and especially with the SPS. So
there's a million different opinions,
right,
as you know, out there, and what everybody thinks is the best for their reef, and everybody has to figure that out on their own. That's why it's really important that you have these kits and you check your water once or twice a week, just to know and understand, because you will see it as your chemistry changes. And you watch your reef, how it grows and colors up. You're going to learn your sweet points.
right.
And honestly, I've done a million tanks, and they can all be different on how these corals adjust and grow. The most important thing is consistency, keeping it consistent. If you're running yours at 7, I've seen great tanks running at 7.
Right.
I've seen great tanks running at 10 alkalinity. But it's all about keeping it consistent.
Right.
When it bounces, if you're not checking, it's going to bounce on you. Every time you do a water change, it bounces.
Right.
Brings your alkalinity back up, then it drops down. And if you don't keep that stable, you're going to lose color. You're going to lose polyp extension.
Right.
And your corals will suffer. You're going to lose growth. Calcium, as we all know, calcium helps our bones grow. So same thing in your reef, all your corals, anything with the bone structure, skeletal structure to it, needs calcium for growth.
A minimum of 450, right?
450, if you can keep it stable at 450, that's our sweet point. That's what we try to aim for. 350 to 400, I've seen great tanks running on that. You can run it too high and start stressing some things out. So 4 to 450 is a good point to keep it stable. Again, stable, keeping it consistent. Now, magnesium, a lot of people don't check for that. And it's not a huge deal, but calcium doesn't work without magnesium. The corals can't absorb calcium properly without having proper magnesium levels. Okay. So that's another one. It's usually pretty good. If you do your regular water changes, you'll find that magnesium can stay pretty stable. But if you're doing SBS, you're getting a lot of growth, you're going to lose calcium and magnesium at a faster pace. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're checking for your magnesium so that your corals can absorb the calcium.
What would be the sweet point for magnesium?
I like to run mine around 1250. Some people run a little bit higher, up to 1500 even. You can go as low as probably 10. But if you read Red Sea labels, they're going to tell you probably 1250 to 1400. Okay. They even will tell you to run your pH as high as 11. Okay. So, but again, kind of play with your tank, learn your chemistry. It's real basic stuff, super easy. Once you catch on, you'd be going, man, why haven't I been doing this all right? So, but so that covers the basics of that. And guys, if you come in our store, we will help you. If you purchase test kits, or even if you don't, you just want to watch us test your water. We'll walk you through all of this.
Do you charge for water test?
Free water test all the time. But as much as we want to see you guys come in our store every day, don't bring me a baggie every day. I want you to learn. Oh, no. We will test it often for you, as often as we need to, and we'll be glad to. But we also want you doing this yourself. The more often you do this, the better understanding you're going to have of your own tank. Absolutely. Once you get this dialed in, it's 15 minutes. I tell people, plan an hour a week to take care of your tank. Whether it's a 10-gallon, whether it's a 150, 200-gallon, give it an hour. Sit down and look at it. Watch it. Run your test. Spend a half hour, run your test, see what's going on with this so you can fix it. And I think you'll have a lot more fun with it. Yeah. Once you start doing this, it's actually kind of neat to see the chemistry and how you are challenged to maintain the stability of it.
So it's almost like having your own science experiment in your house.
Exactly. In this hobby, you've got to be a biologist, a chemist, a plumber, an electrician. Right. So you kind of got to do it all. So, but again, super important piece of equipment. Spend money on the tools. You can probably get all in for $100. Right. And then you can start spending money on coral because you're going to be a lot more comfortable in keeping your corals alive once you know all of this.
Perfect, Dave. And so for the Arizona Reef Guys and Gals group, you're offering, what was it? What was your deal?
We're doing 15% off any test kit. We have Red Seas in stock. We have Salifers in stock. We do plan on bringing in the Hannah checkers as well. But if you mention this video, we come in, that we will give you 15% off to help you get started on testing your own water, whether it's a refractometer, Red Sea kit, Salifer kit. You got it, 15% off. Okay.
Well, thank you, Dave. Thank you for opening up the store for us. And we will see you guys next week, to be determined, where we're going to, what store will be live from then. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.